chapter a day. Happy Thursday. It's a happy day every day. We just have some bad experiences, but beautiful sunshine, a little chill on the wind. I don't know what the weather is like in your area. It's either cold or hot, but I pray that it's safe. I know we've had some storms come through, and I pray for those people who are affected. I've been in storms before, and I know what it's like. It's very inconveniencing. So I pray that those people will be helped as much as possible, and I pray that God deliver you out of that situation quickly. So yesterday we read 1 Samuel chapter 19 about Saul's pursuit of David to kill him. And David just kept being helped by God because he has the Spirit of God with him. His wife, Saul's daughter, helped him to escape when Saul was sending his servants to David's home to kill him, and she let him out the window. Saul was angry with her, and she told him that David had threatened her, which of course was not true, I'm sure. But she did put an image in the bed to represent David. So she tried to make an excuse for him the first time that he was sick. And then the second time, well, they came. That's when she helped him to escape. And now he is hiding out with Samuel. And Saul went to pursue him by Samuel. That's where Samuel was. And as Samuel and the other prophets were prophesying, I'm not sure, they maybe were having some sort of a meeting where I'm not sure what was taking place, but they say prophesying. Saul too caught the Spirit of God, and he too began prophesying, stripped himself of his clothes naked, fell asleep. That was the last part of it. Let's see what happens now. This is going to be a long chapter, so I don't know if I'll stop as many places, but I'll try to explain where I need to. Okay? Chapter 20. And David fled from Naioth in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? What is mine iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life? And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will shew it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. And David sware moreover and said, Thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he saith, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even. Okay, so David has left where Samuel was, because Saul found him where he was. And he's gone now in pursuit of Saul's son Jonathan, because he knows he and Jonathan are good friends, and Jonathan will help him out. So Jonathan is sort of saying, my father tells me everything, good or bad, and I'm going to find out from him what's really going on, if he's really pursuing you to kill you, and I'm going to let you know. And David said, as I know for sure that Saul is trying to kill me, as there's a step between me and death. So Jonathan is saying, well, tomorrow is going to be the new moon, so I guess they have feasts for the new moon. And he's going to try and see what the king is up to. And David agreed to hide himself in a field and wait for him. Okay, verse 6. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. If he say thus, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very rough, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself, for why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? And Jonathan said, Far be it from thee, for I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee. Then would not I tell thee? Then said David to Jonathan, Who shall tell me? Or what if thy father answer thee roughly? So he and David are kind of making some sort of pact to see if Saul is really after him to kill him. When he sits down to have a meal with his father, Jonathan, he's going to see if he's going to say, well, if the father asks, where is David? He'll say, well, David has gone home to be with his family. And if Saul gets upset, he knows there's evil with Saul. And if not, then like David said, you know, if there's evil in me, you can slay me yourself. That's what David is saying, because he knows he did nothing wrong for Saul to hate him. So verse 11, and Jonathan said unto David, come, and let us go out into the field. And they both went out, and they went out both of them into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord God of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and then send not unto thee, and show it thee, the Lord do so, and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, as he hath been with my father. And thou shalt not only while yet I live show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not, but also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord hath cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemies. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. Okay. So Jonathan and Saul are kind of making some sort of agreement to find out what's going on with Saul, first of all. So Jonathan is going to kind of test the waters with Saul and see how they look. If he's angry that David is missing, he knows that Saul has bad intent towards David. But if not, then he will, you know, maybe try and get word to David that all is okay. So David is saying, well, who can I really trust, you know? So David and Jonathan is making a pact. And even Jonathan is saying to him, you know, that when he does come in the place of his father Saul, that he would remember Jonathan's heritage and not, you know, forget Jonathan's not his kindness, but not his seed, you know, to be good to his seed when he comes in as the new king. So he also made a pact with him that if it's okay with him, he will shoot 3 arrows out, so that David will know that all is well or all is not well. So let's see what happens. Verse 21. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, go, find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, behold, the arrows are on this side of thee, take them. Then come thou, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. But if I say thus unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord hath sent thee away. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between thee and me forever. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, something hath befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for my family hath a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. So Jonathan has prepared an explanation of why David is absent from the table for Saul, because he was expecting Saul to ask. Saul didn't ask the first day, but he asked the second day, and he is thinking, man, maybe David is not clean. You can imagine that. You with your evil spirit looking to kill David, and you are thinking David is not clean. I am telling you, insanity is an evil thing, honestly, because you don't have reasoning. That is not, that's not of God. Not of God. Oh my gosh. Anyway, verse 30. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. And Jonathan answered Saul his father, and said unto him, Wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with... And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad, and said unto him, Go, carry them into the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another, and wept one with another, until David exceeded. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn, both of us, in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. Wow. Oh my. So that's a friendship that they have to part ways before David's safety. David cannot go back in the presence of Saul. He cannot go to Saul's palace anymore. He can't even go to his own home anymore. So now he's a man on the run, or a young man on the run. And I know that is not an easy thing. God knows. But God is with him beside every adverse situation he's experiencing right now. This is terrible. But we will see and hear more as to how this develops and how it measures out in the end. So that's it for our reading for 1 Samuel chapter 20 for today. Thank you all for listening, and I pray you continue to have whatever comments or thoughts and share them as you please. Until then, keep listening, because faith comes by hearing God's word. Take care. Bye.